Okay, the second part of lesson 84 is finding the slope, but without having to graph it. Okay, just like the last ones, we had the lines and 2 points and we're able to count the y and the x and find the slope. But what if they just give you the coordinates but no graph? Well, if they just give you the coordinates, you should be able to, you will be able to find the slope. So just like these, if they gave you the coordinates, or just like this one, if they gave you the coordinates but no graph and they tell you to find the slope, you'll be able to find the slope using this slope of a line equation. Now they have this, it says slope of a line equation on that sheet from GED, and you can use this on the test. I know it's hard to read, but it's M stands for the slope equals y minus y, and then over x minus x. So that's what this video is showing. The back of this paper, you have some examples of those. So just like this one here, you have 2 points on the graph. And we can find the slope. It says find the slope from these 2 points, each pair of points. So if we graph these, what would be the y going up and then the x going across? What would be the slope? So we can do that just by using that equation. M, whoops, too high. M equals, now y is on the top, over the x minus x on the bottom. Okay? So with the coordinates, with these two coordinates, the x is always first, the y is second. -7 would be the x, and 14 would be the y. Okay? So to find the slope, it says we got to take the y minus the y. So if I take 10 minus this y, 14, over the x, 8, from this one, minus -7, that will give you the slope. So now that I got it set up, I just do the math. I go 10 minus 14, that will be 4, or -4. And then 8 minus the -7, well here this is the two negatives when minus becomes a positive. So 8 plus 7, that will be 15. Okay? So the slope here, this would be -4 down on the y, and then 15 to the right on the x. Or like I showed in the last video, you can put it like this, -4 over 15. Because if I went to this point, if I went +4 on the y and -15 on the x, well, you still end up on the line. Okay, you could graph it, and it'll make a line sloping from those 2 points. Okay, so this would be the slope. Same thing with number 10. Okay, you want to use this equation. This is the x, and this is the y. This is the x, and this is the y. Okay, so what would be the slope? Okay, the slope, well, we got to take the y minus the y over the x minus the x. So the slope would be the y is 1 minus 2 over the x is -3 minus -17. This x here. Okay, so I got y minus the y and x minus the x. Okay, so we do the math here. 1 minus 2, that'll be -1. Or I'm sorry, +1. So get rid of that. No, it's a -1. I was right the first time. And then -3 minus a -17, so that will end up being -3 plus a 17. So that will end up being a +14. So you end up with x being -1, or I'm sorry, the y being -1, and the x being 14. Or you can write it this way, -1 over 14. Okay, so this will be the y, that'll be how much it goes up and down, and then the x is on the bottom. Okay, for the slope. This is the slope now. One more. Let's do number 12. Again, this is the x, this is the y, this is the x, and this is the y. Okay? So here I got to put the numbers into the equation. If these were 2 points on a graph, what would be their slope? So here I got to go the y, -5 minus the -8 over the -12, the x, -12 minus 0. So here I go -3 minus a -5. So those two negatives become a positive. So -5 plus 8 will give you +3. And then -12 minus 0, that will just say -12. So this will be the slope, would be -3 over 12. Okay? And slopes can be reduced just like fractions. Okay? For every 3 on the y, it will be a -12 on the x. Or if it was a -3 on the y, it will be a +12 on the x. Or it can be reduced. 3 will go into 12, or 3 will go into both of them. So this could be a fraction reduced to -1 over 4. So it really is, for every 1 on the y negative, you got 4 positive on the x. Okay? So this will be the slope. Okay, so there's 3 others on this work page that you can try.